Hello again. So this is Business Math, Chapter 2, Net Income. We are doing Lesson 2.5, Group Health Insurance. So we've gone through, Chapter 2 is all about calculating your net income. So we started with federal income tax, and we moved to state income tax. The last one we just did was Social Security and Medicare together. And now we're going to be doing group health insurance. So this is kind of the last piece to calculate. So the last section is going to be kind of putting it all together and figuring out, calculating that across on an actual, card to see all the taxes together. So with this one, make sure you're reading the chapters and the lessons so that you get the information from there. You get to see the examples that are in the book, and you see some of the equations or formulas that they have in the book. Remember, the ones they put here are not always everything that you're going to need. Sometimes this has other pieces in it that you need to know how to calculate. That happens quite often, where they'll give you a formula here, but there's another piece of the formula you need to know how to calculate, and they haven't shown you that on this worksheet. They did it in the textbook. So just make sure you're reading through that, giving yourself all the information you need. So we always have the little summary, what was this about? And then we get some formulas here. So let's look at this. Many businesses offer group insurance plans to their employees. You can purchase group insurance for a lower cost than individual insurance. Businesses often pay part of the cost of the insurance, and the employee pays the remaining amount. So the employee's share is the annual amount times the employee's percent. So they don't tell you how to get the employee's percent. We'll have to look at that. That's something they usually give you the employer's percent, and then you have to figure out the employee's percent. It's a pretty easy calculation, but they do this quite often. And then deduction per pay period is the total amount paid by the employee. So that's the employee's share divided by the number of pay periods in a year. So it depends on, how often you're being paid. Are you being paid monthly? That'd be 12 payments. Are you being paid weekly? That's 52 payments. Bi-weekly, that means every 2 weeks. So that'd be 52 divided by 2. So that's 26 payments for the year. Semi-annual, semi-monthly. That's another one that they use quite often. So that means twice a month. It doesn't actually mean every 2 weeks. It means twice a month. It's a little different. So that means you take your 12 months and you're getting paid twice in every one of those months. So 24 payments. So it kind of depends for that bottom portion of the fraction here, what wording they're using. Okay. So we want to make sure we understand what those words mean, because that's going to help us do these calculations. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 1 here. So we have Ruth Lockwood earns $2,917 per month as a supervisor for Acme Steel. Her group medical coverage costs $6,240 per year. The company pays 75% of the group insurance. So the first thing they asked us to do is find the percent paid by Ruth. Well, if they pay 75%, remember percentages are always out of 100%. So we just take 100 and we subtract what they pay, and that'll tell us what Ruth pays. So she's going to pay 25% of the amount. So find the total amount paid annually by Ruth. Remember, this is annual per year. So we're going to take the total amount and we're just going to multiply by her percentage here, 25%. That's going to tell us how much Ruth pays every year. So she pays $1,560 per year. And then how much is deducted each month from her paycheck for medical insurance? So there's 12 months. I want to divide by 12. So I'm going to take this 1,560, and I'm going to divide by 12, and that's going to give me $130. So she's going to pay $130 every month for her medical insurance. So little pricey there, maybe. I feel like that sounds like a lot. So we're going to do the same thing in the next couple of problems. They don't break it down for you quite as much. So this next one, find the percent paid by David. They still have you find his percent, and then how much is deducted each month. So they skip this middle portion here. You still need to do this calculation on the problem. It's just not one of the answers that they have you put down. So you're going to do that middle calculation and then divide by 12 to find out how much he pays every month. Let's see, the next one. Okay, the next one is very similar. Sorry, I just want to look at my notes here real quick just to make sure I know what to note on here. So we're doing exactly the same thing. We need to make sure we know what is the employee's percentage, then calculate the annual, and then this time is weekly. So instead of 12, we're going to be divided by 52 because they get 52 payments for the year, because weekly, there's 52 weeks in the year. Number 4, let's see. So the only thing in number 4, you can see it's kind of a little longer. They're giving you a little bit more information. So we have medical coverage and dental coverage. So we have 2 different types of coverage. Pretty common when you're getting benefits, you get medical and dental. Sometimes even vision. So far I haven't seen them throw vision in yet. So maybe in the future they'll start throwing that at us. For right now, you just calculate it for medical and dental. So you have to calculate them separately. You do the exact same calculation that you've done up here, but you have one for medical. So how much in medical does Sashi? I'm not quite sure. Sashi, I'll go with Sashi. How much does Sashi have to pay in medical? Remember, there's a certain amount they pay for medical, and there's a certain amount they pay for dental. You have to subtract them from that 100 separately. So how much does he have to pay in medical? How much does he have to pay in dental as far as the percentage? And you're going to multiply that by the total cost. That'll tell you how much he's paying annually. Remember, how much is deducted each week? You need to divide your answers by 52 so that you have the weekly amount. So you can add them together. You can find out, how much does he pay annually for medical? How much does he pay annually for dental? So those are 2 pretty darn easy calculations here. And then you add those together. But remember, in the end, you need to divide by 52 so that you come down to that weekly amount. All right, let's look at the algebra one here. So again, algebra does not mean it's going to be hard. What it means is we need to think about what did we just learn and how do we use what we just learned to get what they're asking us to get. So they're just asking us to apply it a little differently. So it doesn't always mean that it's going to be hard. Okay, so, and I'm looking at the name here, Isiro. I'm going to go with Isiro. Murakami has $1,560 deducted weekly for family medical insurance. So we know how much he's paying in family medical. His employer pays 85%, so that's employer, remember? And they want to know, what is his annual premium? How much does he pay every year? So if we know his amount, so remember, we need to subtract what his employer pays so that we know what his amount is. He pays 15% of this medical coverage. And then we know that we can find the cost if we multiply the percentage by the total cost, right? So if we just say, X is the annual premium, and you can pick any variable you want here. It doesn't have to be X. For whatever reason, I tend to pick X. So we have 15%, and instead of writing 15%, I'm actually going to write it as a decimal because I need to pay a little more attention to that. Ooh, I wrote 1.5. 15%, there we go. We just want to move that 2 times over. And again, you can do that on a calculator. It's definitely pretty easy. Let's grab the calculator real quick. So I'm going to clear this, and then I can type 15 and go percent. There we go. It moves it for me. That's definitely a pretty easy way to do that. So 15 times my annual premium, whatever that is going to equal the amount I pay every single week. Remember, that's weekly. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. I need to make sure I make this annual. If this is talking about annual premium, I need to make the units match. So I can't have an annual premium on one side and just a weekly payment on the other side. I would either have to multiply by 52 on this side or divide by 52 on this side so that I bring them both. Either they're both weekly or they're both annual. I need to make sure I fix that unit. So I have 0.15x equals, when I multiply, he's paying a total of $811.20 per year for this medical insurance. And I'm simply going to divide by this 15%. And that'll tell me how much the actual annual premium costs, how much the health insurance costs on as a total. Not just what he's paying, but the total amount here. So I'm going to let y'all finish that calculation up there. But I hope that helped, and I will see you in section 6.